This is the deciding Champions League week. We are going to predict who is going out, who is going to the Europa League in third, and those two top places that sends you to the knockouts round of 16.
Right, I'm not leaving here until you press the like button.
What?
Yeah, you there. Oh, done, right.
Oh, he's done it.
Lens versus Sevilla, Theo. It's third against fourth in Group B. Now, Lens, if they win, if Arsenal win, if the goal difference changes by 5, I hope you're listening, there's a quiz later, then they could stay in the Champions League. But will that happen?
No. Thogdad, let's be real here. This is a Europa League decider. The winner gets that third position, and I'm honestly so upset with Sevilla. How do you bottle a 2-0 at home in the final moments to PSV? You lose Bono, and I feel like you've lost your whole team.
Yeah, but if they win this, of course, they go into the Europa League. But you look at Lens and their recent form in the domestic league, it's pretty good there.
I was there for a Morocco match, but I know that the locals really turn up. The ultras, and not behind the goal, but on the sides. It's very clever. They're going to win 2-1.
I agree, 2-1. PSV Eindhoven against Arsenal of London. It's second against first in Group B, Theo. And PSV need a draw to stay in the Champions League. And look at their league form. 1-15, drawn none, lost none.
I do not think Arsenal will give a damn about this match because they've already qualified in first place. They've got a Premier League title race going on. Every game means everything in the English first tier. Luke de Jong is going to score a Thogdad bullet header. 1-0 win to PSV.
And surprisingly, I agree, Theo. I think Arsenal play the B team. 1-0 PSV. Union Berlin against Real Madrid. It's fourth against first in Group C, Theo. Now, this is interesting. Berlin need to win. They need to hope that Braga don't win. Will that happen?
Very good question, Thogdad. It's all going down at the Olympia Stadium, which is, of course, Hertha Berlin's ground. Union cannot play their home games because their stadium is too small for matches to be played there. It's crazy. They've had a change of managerial positions. They've now got a female assistant manager. They're fighting again in Germany. And I just feel as if Real Madrid, it's a pointless game for them. Top of the league, no one around them. I think they'll send some youth.
Wow, female assistant manager Joey Barton will not be pleased. Now, Union Berlin have been very disappointing in this tournament, Theo. They are winless. Real Madrid have won all 5 games. And once again, it comes down to who do Real Madrid send?
Let me call this game. Union Berlin will start amazingly. They score, Real Madrid equalise. They score again in like the 70th minute, and they just have to hold on for dear life to qualify for that third place Europa League. And they bottle it. Real Madrid get a late goal. Do you know who it is? Jude Bellingham on his return to Germany.
Union Berlin 0, Real Madrid 2. Napoli against Braga is second versus third in the same group, Group C. Now, this is interesting, Theo, because Napoli to qualify just need a draw, but Braga, they need to win by 2 goals to switch positions.
This has turned out quite an interesting match, but going to Sao Paulo, or Diego Armando Maradona as they call it now, very difficult part of Italy to travel to. Braga have really fought this competition. Some people called this impossible for them to get out of. Unless Union Berlin cause a madness, they'll go into the Europa League, which actually I think is their level.
No, I kind of agree with that, Theo, but I think Napoli will be too good on the day. I think they'll win this one 2-1.
Napoli 3, Braga 1.
RB Salzburg against Benfica, third against fourth in Group D. Now, this is a very interesting one, Theo. 2 teams who've not done very well, it's fair to say. RB Salzburg, I think they've only scored 3 goals all tournament, but a draw here is enough.
There's a 4-point goal difference between Salzburg and Benfica, and although Benfica have dropped howler after howler, a win here of 2 goals or more difference can actually qualify them for Europa League football. How have the Portuguese lads still put this in as an option?
This is outrageous, but you know what, Theo? I think this is going to be a draw. I think it's going to be a cagey game. I'm going 1-1.
Salzburg are young, they're exciting, they're fiery, and at home, I think the RB boys are going to win this 2-0.
Inter Milan against Real Sociedad, second against first in Group D. Now, this is a really interesting one. Inter Milan, Theo, who are smashing their domestic league, need to win this one. It's as simple as that, isn't it, Theo?
There's still importance in topping the group instead of second because you will be in pot 1. Pot 1 means you play a pot 2 team and you get an easier draw of the next round in the Champions League. Inter, part of the reason they got to a Champions League final last year is because they were always in the right side of the draw. They're both on 11 points, and as things stand, it's actually Sociedad above because they got a better goal difference.
Do you know what? Sociedad have only conceded 2 goals in 5 games. That will worry the lads from Milan, won't it, Theo? But do you know what? I think this is going to be a narrow home win. I'm going Inter Milan 1, Real Sociedad
I'd also agree. I think Inter just have enough at San Siro. It's going to be a Lautaro Martinez winner, 2-1.
Group A now, and it's Copenhagen against Galatasaray, second against third. This is a proper naughty game. And all I can say, Theo, if you can get a ticket to this, be there, because Copenhagen need to win this. Galatasaray need to win this.
Yes, 5 points
A draw
each.
might not be enough, because Man United, if they win, can leap above them both. It's a fascinating group.
The funny thing is, United are playing a game against Bayern. We'll predict that soon, but Bayern don't need to bring anybody. They could bring the kids. They've already qualified. Whoever wins this game from Copenhagen Galatasaray probably gets that, well, has to be, that second Champions League spot. Copenhagen, do they interest you?
They do interest me, Theo. I think on paper, the Galatasaray squad these days looks quite impressive.
Yeah, well,
but
Galatasaray's
Copenhagen, in front of their fans,
Section
in
14
Denmark,
fans, incredible. I've seen lots of videos. I've never witnessed this before. Tickets have been sold out for months. Galatasaray, I know what their fans are like, and they will be in the away end passionate. Based off that Manchester United game, they will go there thinking we can turn them over.
Yeah.
They turned over United away. They travel well, but then so did Copenhagen. They beat Manchester United too. I just can't call it, Dad. I can't call this.
Do you know what, Theo? Galatasaray, I always think of them as a home side. I don't think they travel as well as other teams. So I'm going to go with an amazing game, settled by 1 goal. Copenhagen 2, Galatasaray 1.
Copenhagen will score twice, Dad. But Galatasaray, Wilfried Zaha will get the third. 2-3.
Manchester United versus Bayern Munich is fourth versus first in Group A. What can we say about this? Because Manchester United need to win. They need to beat Harry Kane and co. in order to stay in Europe. But a win might not mean staying in the Champions League. Now, if they draw, they might go out of Europe, or they might stay in Europe in the Europa League. There's so many permutations here.
And then Manchester United, they do crap in the Champions League, but they're one of the best form teams in the Premier League. They're only 3 points from Man City in the league. So how do you base this off anything? And then you got Bayern Munich, who don't need to try. They could turn up with a bunch of under-23 players if all they wanted to do. Yeah.
I think they'll send a good team. I think Harry Kane will love to go back to England, to Old Trafford, and prove what he's all about. Although he doesn't need to prove that. We all know he's world class. This is going to be an absolute classic.
And I think Man United won't even score. 0-3 away end limbs for the Germans.
No, Theo. You've got this so wrong. It's going to be Manchester United of England 2. Bayern Munich of Germany will score 2.
So, that means your prediction, Galatasaray go out, Copenhagen second, and Man United get Europa League.
Correct. RB Leipzig against Young Boys, Theo, second against third in Group G, and it doesn't really count for much, because Leipzig are going to be second. Young Boys, well, they need a point to absolutely guarantee third.
Certain.
So I'm just going to get straight to my result. A 2-1 home win.
I think Leipzig are much better than what you predicted, Dad. Openda and Xavi Simons cooked against Man City. But for now, Leipzig 3, Young Boys 0. The Swiss lads do not have that cutting edge against the RB Germans.
Crvena, Zvezda, Red Star Belgrade against Manchester City, fourth against first in Group G. Now, interestingly, Theo, if Red Star win this game, and if Leipzig win the game, then Red Star Belgrade can actually sneak up to third place.
Bear in mind, my prediction was 3-0. So the goal difference to Young Boys has crashed. And I think Leipzig, they are destructive. They could do that. Now we go to Serbia, okay, in the same group. There's a 3-point difference. The goal difference is already better based off that Leipzig result. They just have to beat Man City. The problem is you have to beat the quadruple winners.
And again, it comes down to who do Manchester City send in terms of personnel down to Belgrade. And it's a very difficult place to go, isn't it?
Manchester City are in disarray because they have to travel to Serbia. And then they have to travel to Saudi Arabia to play the Club World Cup. These are distractions that Pep does not want right now. He needs to focus on the Premier League and be the first manager ever to win 4 in a row. They won't want to be in Serbia. They won't want to be in Belgrade. And when they see the Delia and the noise, they will not handle it. 1-0. Just like in the first half at the Etihad, they're going to hold that game out 1-0 win.
But Man City have won all 5 of their games. They're averaging 3 goals a game. I think they'll send a reasonable side, and the score will be Crvena Zvezda 1, Manchester City 3. Group H now, and it's Antwerp against FC Barcelona, fourth against first. A bit of a pointless game. Antwerp have lost all 5 games. They're absolutely rubbish. Barcelona won 4 out of 5. Just need a draw to top the group. I'm just going to get straight to it. Barcelona Barcelona to win 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0 as well. We agree for the first time in this video, which is quite unusual.
Let's do the
João
funny old
Felix
handshake.
and Lewandowski to score.
FC Porto against Shakhtar Donetsk in the same group. This is second against third. This
Cracker.
is two teams on 9 points. So really, it's winner takes all. Now, FC Porto are at home, but they're playing a team who only plays away.
Yeah.
And has had a really good record recently. What is going to happen here, Theo?
You can't write off Shakhtar, Dad. They even caused an upset against Barcelona in Germany. There's so many different outcomes to this match, but as you said, it's massive, both on 9 points. I just think Porto at home, a lot of noise there, good ultras, and Taremi up top, ready to score a winner, 2-1 win.
And I'm going to say ditto. Group E now, and it's Glasgow Celtic against Feyenoord, fourth against third. It's a meaningless game. All Celtic are playing for is pride. One point and 3 goals. It ain't good enough, is it?
In this match, it's pointless. Feyenoord are stuck at third, and they're going to go Europa League. Celtic are out, full stop. No one can touch either of them. 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I think Feyenoord will focus on the league. They'll enjoy the Europa League as well. A 2-2 draw. Atletico Madrid against Lazio, first against second in Group E, Theo. And Atletico Madrid and Lazio have both qualified. So the boys from Madrid, they just need a draw, don't they?
Yeah, there's a 4-point difference between third and second. They're just fighting for top spot, a better draw at the next round. And honestly, it could go either way. It could at the Wanda. Lazio are fighters, and they've won their last 2, and they look good. But Atletico are clearing up, not just in Europe, but also in the league. And I think it's going to be a Diego Simeone tight win, 2-1, 4-4-2, Brexit football, Griezmann winner.
Atletico 1, Lazio 0. Borussia Dortmund against Paris Saint-Germain in the group of death, Group F. And this is first against second, and this is a fascinating one.
It is, because so many different turns could happen. If PSG bottle it to table toppers Dortmund, who have already qualified, they could fall out. Milan could go there if they win. Newcastle could go there if they win, so it all depends on the other game happening at the same time. Originally, I was going to go to this match, but the Germans have already qualified now. The Dortmund party has started early. Can they stop Kylian Mbappe, Ousmane Dembele? Well, I'll be real, Dad, they didn't look that good at home to Newcastle.
Yeah,
that was a 1-0 win in my eyes, the away team. The referee saved them with that penalty at the end. He only gave that because he disallowed the other one. I'm going to go high scoring. Neither team win. 2-2.
Wow, and I nearly went for that, but I changed it at the last minute because I think when the chips are down, Kylian Mbappe, he steps up to the plate. I'm mixing my metaphors. Who cares? It's going to be Borussia Dortmund 1, PSG 2. Newcastle United against AC Milan is third versus fourth in Group F. Now, either of these teams can still qualify
with a win
for the next phase if they win.
AC Milan have left it late, but could you imagine the scenes if they did it, Dad?
It would be amazing. Now, the problem with AC Milan is goals. They've only scored 3 in 5 games.
On one end of the table, you've got Newcastle who just lost 3-0 to Everton. Then you've got Milan, and they can't buy a win right now. I don't know what's going on. Yes, they've had a few injuries. Rafael Leao is back in training, but is he going to be fully fit for that match?
It's hard to say. Newcastle were just battered, weren't they, in the league this week, which was a weird one. But when they play at home, when they play at St James's Park in front of 50,000 fans, in that cathedral of football, they are a different team.
I think Dortmund will draw against PSG, and Newcastle are going to beat Milan 2-0.
Newcastle will go out, they will score early. Alexander Isak is going to play very well in this one. Anthony Gordon might get a goal.
Anthony Gordon does well, doesn't he?
It's going to be 3-1 to Newcastle, but in my opinion, it won't be enough. Europa League football for the Geordies. Right, I'm not leaving here until you press the like button.
What?
Yeah, you there. Oh, done, right.
Oh, he's done it.
And now I'm leaving. I've got a Christmas party down the road.
That's the Thog Dad effect.
See ya.
That's the Thog Dad effect right there.